Can you see those? Boom, boom. See those knuckle dents that you're making in the tree? If I make a regular fist, I get a little bit, but it's not penetrating with the depth that you get. Look at that. Shock punch right there. Today we're going to be talking about boxer fracture, the fist, one of the most common injuries that people get in street fighting. Okay, I'm not encouraging street fighting, but I'm going to show you something that you could do to prevent that boxer's fracture that's so common. The reason why people get boxing fractures is because they're using a sport fighting fist, which is also what we call an angry fist. So when you get tense, you lock up and you get all this tension built in and you just start swinging like that. Problem with that is this here, this rolled in set of knuckles right there. When you hit and there's pressure, let's see if I can put it, see that pressure that's happening? It's rolling the knuckles under. After a certain point, you're gonna create either an impact, dislocation, or a fracture, okay? The other thing is, if you're not on perfect alignment, so if a boxer's punch, you're trying to land between the first two knuckles. In the Kung Fu, you're trying to land on the flat 3 knuckles. Problem with this is if you're slightly off and you're using this fist, that compression could cause a lot of damage for you. Simply looking at it this way, if I make impact on something, let me come over to this tree here. If I make impact on this tree, and I'm using a Kung Fu punch, if you're looking at this, the first things that make contact are these front knuckles here, not the knuckles I want to land with, okay? So it takes you a little bit of practice and a lot of practice to make these effective, okay? You also want to be doing an upward motion for this punch. The boxer's punch, when we turn the knuckles over, same thing. I have to rotate my hand correctly in order to be able to land those first 2 knuckles. If I don't, and this is very, very, very common, if I'm like angry and just throwing wild, you come across and you end up hitting those last 2 knuckles. And these are the ones that fracture most commonly. Now you can get fractures and dislocations all through the hand, but this is the most common one. So talking about the anatomy and something that you can do to prevent your hand from being damaged if you have to throw a punch in a fight. First thing that you need to do is look at the arm. So the middle knuckle, your middle finger, is the only finger that runs in alignment with your forearm here, okay? So what I want to do with this is I want to create this Spider-Man grip, just like Spider-Man there. And then all I have to do is close my hand over. The only thing I have to watch for is that I don't close my thumb over top of the outside knuckle. So just close. By creating this, what we call a triangle right here, I create a kickstand in my hand, okay? This is the important thing. Look what the kickstand then does. It makes my knuckle protrude. So when I'm going to punch now, as I do right here, I'll get this area here. You can see I can really put some knuckle into this. Good. Look at these punches. See the dent that's getting in there? That's what you want. You want a small surface hitting. So this is more like being hit by a nail or a dagger or something, okay? It's also, the force is much stronger. It's a much more a functional structure with that triangle. Now ladies, if you're using it, it's just as simple. All you have to do is, if you have long fingernails, close your hands flat, close your finger over to support it, and you're always aiming with the middle knuckle, nothing else, just aim. Now, one of the things that people do as well, why they ruin their wrists, is they think that when I make a fist, that this looks like a straight hand, right? Well, it's not. Look at this. It's going up on an angle right off my wrist there. So what you actually have to do on impact is slightly roll it forward so I get that flat line of my knuckle in alignment with my forearm. So right through that sort of knuckle of your wrist should be level with the knuckle of your fist, okay? And again, so as I'm doing this, I'll go slow motion, but I'm sort of projecting, I'm bringing a slight rotation. See that? Boom. I don't even have to do it hard, and it's getting nice little dents, all right? And as I'm doing this, boom, we can get that hole going.